So today we will discuss about the one of the main competency for any quantity surveyor which is required for in construction industry, which is nothing but a contract practices. So contract practices is a competency plays a very important role for any quantity surveyor. So we'll put a light on contract practices today. So contract practices competency. In this competency, we should aware about the forms of contract widely used in construction industry. Also, we need to understand or should have knowledge about the standard forms of contract used worldwide. That we will discuss today in this competency. So before going to the forms of contract, we should understand what is a contract means. Contract is nothing but is an agreement between two or more parties and which is enforceable by law, because any contract should have enforceable by law. Without enforceability of law, the contract will not be valid. It will, so as law is a valid contract only, it will become a void contract. Void contract means the contract which is not enforceable by law. There is no legality included in a contract, so we call it as a void contract. We understand the contract is nothing but is an agreement between two parties enforceable by law. Any contract should require some elements. Any contract should require certain documents, which is offer. Any offer should be there, because one party will provide offer or proposal to another party, so that offer should be included in contract. The next is the acceptance. The second party, if accepted, then it only become a contract. So in contract of acceptance letter must be there. Then in a contract, next document, important document which is required, which is a consideration of parties. Both party should have certain purpose to operate that contract. In contractor's case, contractors wants or generate a profit. A client, prospective client consideration is to build a residential tower or build a shopping mall to generate a profit further. So there is everybody has a certain consideration. Consideration means money or something which is being exchanged between two parties, for which the contract has been formed. So this is called as a consideration. Then capacity of two parties that need to be declared, need to be known to between two parties. Then possibility of performance, that is also need to be considered while forming a contract. Means capacity of contractor in terms of resources, in terms of technical resources and the financial resources is been well placed or not. That need to be checked. Then as a client perspective, client should be able to provide amount against the work done by a contractor on timely basis. So there should be a possibility of performance. Contractors should have a technical and financial resources to carry out the work. and should perform well in terms of quality, in terms of timelines. He should able to perform as per the contract. This is a possibility of performance. Then we have discussed about the considerations. Then intent. There should be intent, proper clear intent between two parties to form a contract. That should be included in contract. One party provide an offer to another party, and the another party accepts that offer, then it becomes promise. Then promise along with the considerations, it becomes agreement. When agreement enforceable by law, then it becomes contract. So this is a terminology regards to a contract. So offer and acceptance become agreement along with the considerations. Along with the considerations, it becomes promise. Then promise accepted. That promise in the proposal or offer is accepted, then it becomes promise. Then promise along with the consideration, it becomes agreement. If enforceable by law, then it becomes contract. So these are the some terminologies, very important terminology in contract. Then next, if you highlight or put lights on the aspects of contract practices, so there are 4 aspects we need to understand here. In details we will discuss these aspects, and these are the core of this competency. So first aspect is based on the working arrangements, the procurement routes. So what are the procurement routes in terms of working arrangement is being used in construction industry? That we will discuss in this point. So in that, first, the procurement route, procurement path, if you say, then which is nothing but a traditional path. So in traditional path, basically what happens is client takes responsibility of design at early stages. Design is taken care by a client, and then we award a work to the contractor for a construction purpose only. Based on the design is being carried out by a client from some third party designer. So this is a traditional path. In traditional path also, if you consider, there are 2 methods is used to award a contract. One is in traditional path, there are basically 2 methods through which contract is awarded. One is a accelerated method, and second is a sequential methods. In accelerated methods, client involve contractor in first design stage. Even though design is being carried out by client, but the client involves a contractor either by a competitive selected contractor by competitive analysis, or one of the specialized contractor. He award work initially to the contractor, and he involved that contractor in design stage, and then the contractor will carry out the construction activity in second stage. So this is a accelerated method, and second is a sequential method. Sequential method in which design is taken care by the client definitely, and design is been handled by a client by itself, and then after that by competitive analysis, competitive methods, the contract is awarded to the contractor for construction, and contractor involves directly in construction phase, the second phase. But in accelerated method, contractor involves in design also. to accelerate the work generally. In traditional path, through accelerated method or sequential methods, contract, different types of contract is been given. One is a cost plus contract, second is a cost reimbursement contract, third is unit price contract, then lump sum contract. These are some types of contract is been awarded. Then this is about the traditional path working arrangement. Then second working arrangement is design and build working arrangement. In design build working arrangement, basically if you taken, there are three entries through which contract is awarded. One is a single entry, second is a competitive entry, and third is develop and construction entry. Develop and construction. So this is all about the design and build procurement route. The third procurement route is managing contract. In managing contract, basically two types of mechanism is being used. In that, contract management, construction management, and managing contracting. These are the two mechanisms may be used. Managing contract, basically two mechanism used. One is a managing contract and second is a construction management. In managing contract, client will appoint a designer, separate designer, and one main principal contractor will be appointed, and which will going to take care of all the packages for which works to be carried out. So principal contractor will have a control on the package selection. Client will not have a directly involvement in this package selections. Package wise contractor selections will be done by a main principal contractor in this mechanism. Second mechanism is construction management contract. In construction management contract, client will appoint designer, also client will appoint a construction manager, either through a project management consultancy, who will help client to select all the packages. Okay, so in construction management, client will select one designer, then he will also select one construction manager, appoint a construction manager, and client will manage packages, all the package contractor directly. Client will manage all the package wise contractor selections directly with the help of construction manager, which is appointed by client. So this is about the construction management. Okay, so this is third procurement route. Then fourth procurement route is design and develop. In design and develop, all the design and development is been given to a single contractor. So client execute this with a contractor or with a consultant. Both ways he will complete the projects in these procurement routes. So next part of discussion is a tendering. What is a tendering? Tendering is nothing but is a process of bidding with the different vendors. So majorly four types of tendering widely used in construction industry. One is a negotiated tendering through a competitive analysis, negotiations. This tendering is being carried out. Next is open tendering. Open tendering means all vendors can bid to your projects. There is no any restrictions of vendors. So generally it is done by government projects. Anybody can bid for that particular project. Next is single stage tendering, in which the contractor is awarded for construction purpose only, and initially the client need to finish all the design part. And second is a two-stage tendering, in which client involve the contractor at early stage in design to accelerate the work, and then contractor will carry out the construction activity in second stage. So this is all about the tendering types. Then what are the forms of contract generally used? There are different standard forms of contract also used by different projects, different companies, and based on the area of practice. So there are some standard forms of contracts are there. One is a PDIC. PDIC is actually the standard form which is used in Middle East countries. So generally if you consider the PDIC acronyms, if you consider, it is a Federation International des Engineers Council. Then other standard forms also generally used in globally, which is a NEC standard form of contract. NEC means New Engineering Construction. Then NCC, Institute of Chamber of Commerce. This is also standard form used in construction. Such standard forms of construction, basically these are the prepared standard forms in which all contractual mechanisms already been incorporated based on the area of practices, and that can be used for different projects. Also along with that, bespoke form of contract also used, which are the basically made by the employer based on their requirement for that particular projects. And it is these are the flexible contracts. Basically some standard forms of contract are being modified and bespoke form of contracts are prepared. So all about the contract practice, for which we need to understand all these aspects. So these are all the aspects in contract practice competency which we should be aware. Thank you.